Welcome back to Bravo Breaking News. I am your host, Kim, aka Bravo Breaking News on Instagram. And I don't know about you, but I was obsessed with this last season of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City. I mean, it delivered on all fronts. After last season's finale, we were all wondering, could it possibly top that without Monica? Well, I am here to say it certainly did. I mean, these ladies delivered. And I also loved the newbies. I mean, Bronwyn brought it her first season. And Brittany, although I'm a little bit unsure about her, she definitely brought it. She made an impact on the show. And I think she's here to stay. So it was just a great season. And we are continuing this great season with a great reunion. And things are already popping off on social media, guys, because Bronwyn and Lisa are going head to head after last night's explosive episode. And I'm going to get into it all. But before I dive in, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss any Bravo breaking news. Okay, so if you have not watched the first episode of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City reunion, go do that now and then come back and watch my video. Or I will spoil a little bit of the drama that went on last night because Lisa Barlow and Bronwyn went head to head about the issue involving Bronwyn's daughter's parents. So that was a pretty emotional storyline that we saw between Lisa and Bronwyn. Just to summarize it a bit, it appears that Lisa found out while they were filming that she knew the parents of Bronwyn's daughter's father, who is now sadly passed away. Now, yes, that's a mouthful, but I think I have it right. This was all discovered on camera. And there was a storyline about, Lisa trying to connect them and trying to bring them together and whether Bronwyn's daughter, Gwen, actually wanted to form a relationship with them. We did see that play out on the show. However, there was some new drama going on that Lisa might have started from a statement she made on the Salt Lake City after show. So last night they were discussing this, and apparently there was some rumor going on that Bronwyn had actually had a miscarriage instead of having Gwen. Now, this was, I guess, communicated to the parents of the father of Gwen. Therefore, that's why they never reached out because they thought that the child didn't exist. I don't know. It's very dramatic. It's very messy. But Bronwyn is calling Lisa out on Instagram and basically explaining how divulging this information, which was not meant to be on camera, has cost her a lot. In an Instagram story posted this morning, Bronwyn goes, "I know everyone hates text stories, but this is worth being very clear on. Off camera, in a conversation with two producers present, I learned that Lisa knew my daughter's father's family. Given who was present, I realized this would no longer remain private. My family discussed the situation, and I gave my daughter the option to handle it in the way she felt was best. She handled it beautifully, and you can see her addressing it on camera, which was her choice. Then I filmed a conversation with Lisa, openly sharing my feelings and giving her the full picture of what happened throughout the years. I made her aware that my father called his parents the day of her birth and that I spoke to them myself years later when his widow found out about my child. Both of those details felt intensely personal to share on TV. I did not have his family's contact info, but production was able to get in touch and they declined to be on camera. I continued to protect their identities while Lisa, knowing my concerns, continued to share details that could identify them. I still thanked Lisa for offering to and then connecting us, acknowledged the difficult position this put her in, and encouraged her to stay friends with them. My experience with them did not need to be hers. When it came up with the other women, I defended Lisa. Meanwhile, it was clear that they were talking about it behind my back. 6 months later, while taping the after show without me present, Lisa chose to repeat a hurtful falsehood that his parents shared with her, that they apparently thought I had a miscarriage and that Gwen was never born. This is clearly false, and Lisa knew it. Lisa knew my father called them the day Gwen was born. Lisa knew I had communicated with them and that the family acknowledged knowing about Gwen for years. There was no reason for this to be brought up on camera. She was aware of what saying this publicly would do. Since then, my daughter and I have been surrounded by vicious rumors, including that I was pregnant during her father's marriage. This is blatantly false. My daughter's father got married after my pregnancy. By choosing to speak about this on camera, rumors started that I have kept my child from her grandparents. This is far from the truth, and I have always wanted them to want her in their lives. Finding myself pregnant, shamed, and shunned and alone at 19 was the hardest thing I have ever gone through. I will not allow myself or my daughter to be shamed with these lies and rumors. I never wanted this brought to the show. When it came up off camera but in front of production, I worked with the show and my family to navigate it as responsibly and privately as possible. My only concern throughout the past 18 years, including this show, is my daughter's well being. So, this is a touchy subject to say the least. I mean, for one, to have to go through it is absolutely heartbreaking. Two, to have to talk about it on camera, I can't even imagine. So, it is very clear why Bronwyn is so emotional and so sensitive about this. I think what she went through 18 years ago with Gwen was horrible to have to go through, and to have to relive it now and have Gwen's biological grandparents now back in the picture has to be very, very tough to navigate. So I do understand why she was very sensitive about what she wanted to share on the show and what she didn't. However, Lisa saying this on the after show is not a good look. I don't think that she had any ill intentions, but it really does share more details than Bronwyn was willing to share. I mean, even if that is a rumor and a falsehood and it never happened, that is not something that you should bring up about anybody else if they haven't mentioned it themselves. You really shouldn't be talking about it at all. So, I love Lisa Barlow. I love Bronwyn too, but I think Lisa is in the wrong with this one, even bringing it up in the first place. However, Lisa is clapping back on Instagram stories saying that this is all a lie. Lisa posted minutes after Bronwyn's story and said, "Stop lying, Bronwyn. I would have never brought anything to camera. You were salivating to bring this to camera. You are a liar. You lie about everything. I am so over people accusing me of doing things I did not do. You studied the show since season 1. I'm done with the lies. I'm the only one protecting this family. You chose to bring this to camera and to say things that aren't true about them. Stop hurting good people. It's sick." So, yes, the drama is certainly popping off as if it wasn't already popping off on that reunion stage. And I think that Lisa is in a tricky position here because she is social friends with Bronwyn, as she shared on last night's episode, but she is also good friends with these parents, with the grandparents of Gwen. So that does put her in a very, very tricky situation, trying to navigate both, trying to make both people happy and make sure that she doesn't, ruin one relationship. It kind of seems like she's already ruined the relationship with Bronwyn, but this is a very touchy subject that I have to agree with Bronwyn on this one. It should have never been brought up on camera. And if Lisa is actually telling the truth and Bronwyn wanted to bring this to camera and bring it to the light, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would feel differently, but I have a hard time believing that, seeing as it does have to do with her daughter. And most of the time on these housewife shows, I mean, kids are off limits. They are precious. They are, when anybody brings them up in any fight, it is always an issue, obviously, because it's inappropriate. These are innocent kids. They didn't choose to be on this show, their parents did. So leave it to the wives and leave the kids out of it. So, I have trouble believing that Bronwyn decided to bring this to the show in a calculated move to kind of frame Lisa Barlow. I don't know. This is all messy. However, the reunion did bring it, and we have 2 more parts to go. We are just getting started. Make sure you tune in to parts 2 and part 3 in the next 2 weeks, and I will be back with more Bravo breaking news.